welcome to our special Oscars show. I'm Oded Gober.
And I'm Shachar Peled. And today we'll talk about the possible winners, losers, and who we'd like to see up there holding the little gold man.
Yeah, and with us in the studio to share their insights are film critics Jonathan Gal and Benjamin Tovias.
Hello.
Thank you both for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. So, let's start things up by a mashup trailer that will introduce the 8 Best Picture nominees. Here we go.
5, 6, and
Music.
You guys ready to have some fun?
Me too.
And me.
we need your help.
They are not going to help you if they do not like you.
Hey! Tend to my daughter, please, right now!
What are you doing?
I push people beyond what's expected of them.
Popular at school, eh?
We have a new student joining us today.
What?
Who's Gustav H?
I'm afraid that's me, darling.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Steve.
Who is this guy? He used to be Birdman.
What's Martin Luther King about to do next?
My name is Stephen Hawking.
It's American.
You're such a great father.
The perfect couple.
It's beautiful.
I love you.
I love you.
I love him. And he loves me.
What do you want to do?
Why do you want to be a lobby boy?
Is this for real, or are you shooting a film?
A film!
There's 70 million people watching.
Why would you let him get away with what he did to you?
Because you're scared to death, like the rest of us, that you don't matter.
Sorry, did you say something?
I'm ready to come home.
So, let's jump in. What were your favorite films this year among the nominees?
Well, I have 2 from the 8, which are Birdman and Grand Budapest Hotel. I think these are 2 great films, 2 virtuoso films by virtuoso masters. In fact, I'm pretty shocked that they are both nominated because normally the Academy doesn't understand such stylized movies. And normally if they are nominated, so they don't have even a chance to win. But right now they are leading the score with 9 nominations each. So
True, I was
You think
surprised.
that Budapest Hotel is an actual possible
it's a
winner?
favorite.
I don't think he is a contender for Best Picture, but still it will get all the best art direction, best cinematography maybe, and also best
Design,
screenplay.
costumes.
Yeah, design, costume, and it will be noted as the first Wes Anderson movie which the Academy understands, which for me is a shock because Moonrise Kingdom was nominated only for
number
1.
one.
Yeah.
And Birdman is also a shock for me because again, it's a virtuoso movie. It's a movie about making movies. It's very cynical. It's a very complex movie, and normally the Academy doesn't go for such types of movies. So again, a great triumph. And I will be happy to see
Well, to
Birdman win.
balance things out, American Sniper is also nominated,
Nominated,
so don't worry about
Jonathan,
that.
how about
Uh,
you?
loved those 2, but for me it's Boyhood. It moved me and touched me in such a way. I feel when you go to a movie, it's supposed to be an emotional experience. I felt like I was looking at my life. It's an extraordinary cinematic achievement. I'm sure you'll agree. The guy made a movie over, 12
years, yes.
Watching the actor grow up in real life, I don't know, it seems to me like a timeless movie, something that we will think about and talk about in 10 years and in
It's
20
an
years.
event, no question about
It's
it.
incredible. That's my favorite for tonight, but I'm pessimistic about its chances.
What do you think's gonna...
You're pessimistic about Boyhood?
About Boyhood winning.
Boyhood-
For a while it
Boyhood's
was leading
is a
the
real
odds.
favorite, though.
But I think Birdman might sweep the night.
We'll see
We'll get
about
to that later,
I think
guys.
the same thing, but the opposite. My favorite is Birdman, and I think that Boyhood will win. So
Alright,
we're
so
both pessimistic.
Let's talk
Yeah.
snubs for a second.
Okay.
Who deserved to be there? Who got screwed over?
I think that Jake Gyllenhaal was robbed for Nightcrawler. It's the best. It's a great year for actors, for male actors, for women actors not so much. And still the strongest in the field was Jake Gyllenhaal. Also Ray Fiennes wasn't nominated. The film was nominated 9 times, but he wasn't. And again, these are 2 remarkable roles. And as a film, I think that Interstellar is overlooked. Again, I think that people have the
Only
Academy.
visual effects,
Yeah,
if I'm
the
not
Academy
mistaken.
has a problem with Christopher Nolan, which is a great director. And again, he doesn't go normally for sci-fi, but still, I think it's a very interesting movie, a very complex movie.
Maybe because of gravity, they
yeah, maybe it's the same thing as Selma. So because of 12 Years a Slave, Selma got a bit snubbed, although it's nominated for Best Picture. And again, because of Gravity, maybe they think that they gave Gravity isn't really a sci-fi movie, but they gave, let's say, the space movies the respect, so they don't need to respect it again. And I personally prefer Interstellar on Gravity.
In the name of actresses, though, I must say Jennifer Aniston for Cake was another snub. So
yeah, it was a snub, but I wasn't shocked because again, I think she campaigned too hard, so it showed that she wants an Oscar.
She tried too hard.
And it's a game that the Academy doesn't like so much.
Jonathan?
There are lots of snubs. You mentioned these are things that have been talked about for the past few weeks. Timothy Spall, who won Best Actor in Cannes for Mr. Turner, is not in the list as well. I think the Oscars are no longer really something that tells us these are the best movies of the year. If you look at the 10
they never were.
Yeah, probably they never were. If you look in the past, Citizen Kane didn't win Best Picture. Psycho didn't even win Best Picture. All the greatest films. I was thinking about a movie that I really loved this past year, Under the Skin, Scarlett Johansson, a really dark science fiction movie. Very different. Not a lot of people saw it, but it's not even in the conversation for Best Picture. Why is that? These are the films that the distributors want out there, that the big studios want to promote. It's not really the best of the year.
But again,
we'll talk more about it later, but right now I want to move on. Beyond the glitz and glam, the Oscars traditionally raise some controversy, and this year was no different. But before we talk about this year's controversy, even though we mentioned it a little bit, let's look at years past and those scandals.
The history of Academy Awards controversies has almost become a time-honored tradition. This year's lack of diversity is far from the only time the Oscars have incited strident attacks.
Now in complete control!
Back in 1942, Citizen Kane, which later became a cinematic phenomenon, was attacked by newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst, who learned the film was based on his life. After failing to bribe Orson Welles to destroy the film, Hearst banned it completely from his papers. The movie went on to be nominated for 9 Academy Awards, but won only Best Screenplay. Coincidence? Perhaps. In the years when Bonnie and Clyde was being blasted for its graphic violence, Midnight Cowboy went on to become the surprise of the decade, the depiction of homosexual sex in the story of a hustler in New York City, which went on to become the only X-rated film to date to win Best Picture. And in 2013, movies as Lincoln, Zero Dark 30 and Django Unchained sparked debates over history, race, torture and the historical record, eventually giving in to the least politically objectionable film, Argo. Another contention point is the lack of consideration of non-English language films for Best Picture, with only 9 foreign language films nominated in the category to date, including the famous Life is Beautiful. And speaking of diversity, in the past 30 years, only 2 comedies have ever taken the coveted prize, Shakespeare in Love and The Artist, with 0 wins for science fictions. But with its disputable status, the Oscars remain an attention magnet, continuously providing the perfect mix of argument and entertainment.
So, gentlemen, what do you think about this year's controversies, from Ava DuVernay to an all-white actors nominees?
I think that 96% of Academy members are white, which explains why you don't see more movies about black people, and Selma is a very good movie. I think that what sums is the internet meme I saw, which calls Boyhood 12 Years of a White Boy, which is also an answer why I personally didn't like Boyhood, because I think it's too easy to identify yourself with a movie about a bourgeois boy.
It worked for Jonathan.
What?
Yeah. Sorry, we're again talking about.
Is he trying to pick a fight?
Exactly.
Listen,
me and you outside.
I have just my short controversy for you guys. I think the Oscars are dead. It's dead as a TV event. The ratings are nothing compared to what we saw decades past. It's not the best movies of the year, like we just said. The Oscar bump, so-called, these movies are not making a lot of money.
It's the best show in town.
And
people talk about the selfie without the stuff.
Exactly. The people talk about the selfie, and more people will look at the fashion reports.
But it was always like that. You are romanticizing the Oscars. They never were about the best movies.
Well,
it's about the show.
We could, following those harsh words, Jonathan, we can all pack up and go home, but we won't, because we do have an Israeli representative this year at the Oscars. Aya is nominated in the short film category, and joining us now via Skype is one of the film's writers and a pretty well-established director in his own right, Tom Shoval. Hi, Tom. can you hear us? Thanks for speaking to us.
So
Thank you for speaking with me.
Tom, the ceremony is very soon. How excited are you?
I am so excited that I cannot feel it already. I mean, it's too big for me to handle right now. So I just pretend it's going to be like an evening out with my friends and hope that I could hold the excitement.
Well, were you surprised when Aya was selected as a nominee?
I was very surprised because, you know, it didn't even cross my mind that we can come to this place, because it's actually a very small film that we wrote together, and it's a very intimate one about two strangers that find themselves in a car and actually develop some sort of intimacy between themselves. So it's really weird that this kind of like intimate minimalistic film is like came to the peak of like cinema in a way. So it was not expected, and we still scratch our head when we understand that this is where we are.
In recent weeks, you've been on set with Alejandro González Iñárritu as part of the Rolex Mentor program. So he wasn't the only Oscar nominee on set.
No. Also, the cinematographer Emmanuel Lubetsky is nominated for Birdman, and it's kind of funny because, you know, I mean, if we're talking about unexpected things, I've been mentored by Alejandro Iñárritu this past year, and I'm coming to visit him on his set, and we are working on my next project, and it's very exciting times. But I never even imagined that me and him will walk on the same red carpet, being nominated, I mean, mentor and protege together. So it's kind of funny, and we are laughing about it here. That I'm trying to take his place.
Well, tell us about the experience. How was it being mentored by Iñárritu?
It's amazing. I mean, I'm having so much. I'm learning a lot. He's a great director, and you see it when you see his films. But when you see him work on the films, you understand how clever and how sophisticated his direction is. And he is he's very warm and very open, and he let me on everything that goes on the set. So when I come here, you know, I get to sit in the director's place, seeing the monitor, working with the actors, being on rehearsals. So it's kind of amazing experience. And also he's working with me on my next projects, which is like the best eye you can get on your script when somebody like Iñárritu reads it and gives you his thoughts and comments. It's amazing.
Pretty sweet.
Yes, sounds like it. Tom, you may be a little biased, but what are your predictions for this year's Oscars?
Well, you know, I have to say Birdman, and I really love Birdman, so I really hope it will win. But I also like Boyhood, so I feel that if one of those films will win, I'll be happy.
Nice diplomatic answer. Tom Cheval, once again, thanks so much and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
So now,
back to you, gentlemen.
Yes, it's time to make our predictions, gentlemen.
All right.
What was your? What do you think will be this year's Best Picture?
Well, I think it will be Boyhood for film, and Iñárritu will win Best Director. They do that this last few years. The movies they love will win Best Picture, and the movie that is most well made will win Best Director. So Boyhood and Iñárritu for Best Director.
And Jonathan?
I think Iñárritu will win for Director, and Birdman will win for Best Picture.
Amen for that.
Yeah, although I prefer Boyhood, like I said.
So you're both betting against your own personal preference.
We don't want to be surprised. It's better to do
pessimistic. So you're happy either way. You were either right or the film you like the best.
Yeah,
you like
it's a win-win situation. I have to agree. Boyhood, I think, will take this one.
I think it's going to be Boyhood and Linklater. I think that Iñárritu is actually going to go home a little disappointed.
And if Sniper wins, we are all losers.
Oh yes.
That can happen.
At least Clint Eastwood can't win
without
because he's
Eastwood
not
as a
nominated.
director, exactly. Best actor.
Eddie Redmayne, and again,
Really?
it's not my. Keaton should win. I hope that Keaton will win, but again, it's like he has those puppy eyes in the theory and
How can
everything.
you resist?
And he's young. It's like when Adrian Brody won for The Pianist. They like to give the Oscar for young
that was a really
actors
good win.
and for and for the sentimental role again. It's someone that is sick and he's dying. He's mimicking Stephen Hawking really well. So again, I think this is a kind of role that the Academy falls for. Although I think the better achievement is, of course, of Michael Keaton.
Well, Jonathan.
When it comes to, right.
Yeah, does Eddie stand a chance?
I agree with you completely on this one. Yeah.
So we can't fight on it.
We can't fight on it. I mean, I'm setting up to be disappointed.
No,
but
Michael Keaton, without a doubt, he'll take it. They
I
love
think
comebacks.
it's going to be Michael Keaton or, out of left field, Bradley Cooper.
No way.
Could be.
Really?
The patriotic choice, and you mustn't forget that Bradley Cooper was nominated already three times. So this is a sign that the Academy loves him personally.
And finally,
actresses.
Julianne Moore.
all the way.
Again, we will have.
Yeah. No, did anybody see that movie yet?
I saw it. It's sorry, it's a movie about Alzheimer, and it's forgettable, so it goes well.
I feel like I feel like we don't even need to see that movie, right?
Yeah,
she's making a movie about Alzheimer's. It's Julianne Moore. She's been nominated so many times and never won. They're going to give it to her.
They're going to give it to her on Boogie Nights, which she should have won 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and again, you will have an actor and an actress. Both are redhead, and both are portraying dying people from an incurable disease.
No
so it's like an Oscar
like
cliche.
No surprises, Rosamund Pike, something.
No way. I do have to say that among the supporting actresses, Meryl Streep, once again, 19th time she's nominated, but I don't think she stands a chance this year.
No, she didn't deserve it this time. She deserved it in last years, but this time, no, it will be Patricia Arquette.
I just want to make sure that we're all in agreement about J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons, although Edward Norton is very good.
You were a little hesitant there. I didn't like that.
No, I'm all for J.K. Simmons. Sure, that was great.
I loved Edward Norton.
And the supporting actor is always the one that is stealing the show, and if you have a show-stealing performance, it's J.K. Simmons. So,
absolutely.
So it's for me.
I have high hopes for his acceptance speech as well.
Yeah, I will shout on everyone. But apparently, he's a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy.
He is, and in the Globes, he was very considerate with his speech.
I wouldn't want to.
Rushing or were you dragging?
Perfect.
All right, I'm afraid we are out of time. It was as interesting and thrilling as always. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Shah.
Thank you, Oded. That's all. Enjoy the Oscars, and thank you for watching.